Hello, my friends, and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Today, I wanted to report something that could actually be important, and that is to always keep an eye on what you're downloading and make sure you're trying to do it from a verifiable source. But even when you are downloading things from a trusted source, be sure you have some form of safety for yourself. Malicious game infects Steam users with info stealing malware, is what this is. And apparently this is the second time in 2 months that this has happened recently. Steam had a game that someone obviously put up on their platform, passing through whatever checks and balances that Steam has for determining if a game can get on or not. And this game was Sniper Phantom's Resolution. Apparently, it contained malware that was specifically designed to steal sensitive information from an infected system. This was through the installer. As this says, it was mislabeled to appear like a legitimate Windows process, executed a series of evasive techniques, which included launching and killing Node.js scripts, which is just the programs that allow JavaScript to run outside of a browser, and creating startup persistence, all while masquerading as just a harmless game demo. Just a month earlier, another title called Pirate Fi was found to be spreading a Vidar info stealer, which when we look at what that is, it says, what is Vidar malware? Vidar is an info stealer malware operating as a malware as a service that was discovered in the wild in late 2018. Malware runs on Windows and can collect a wide range of sensitive data from browsers and digital wallets. Additionally, the malware is used as a downloader for ransomware. Since its emergence in 2018, Vidar has grown to one of the most successful info stealers in the business. So that is, again, something else you want to look out for. Apparently, it will hide in the ISO files, for those of you who know what that is. If you don't, I totally understand. The important thing here is to make sure you have some kind of virus protection on your computer. Generally, the Windows Defender will be good enough, but if you are downloading a lot of iffy things, you're definitely going to want to find something stronger. And if you are tech savvy, you may even want to start doing things like opening these sort of things in a virtual box. Two-factor identification is another thing you want to make sure you have on your various logins, your Steam, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Google. Two-factor identification isn't foolproof, but it can help. And the reason I wanted to talk about this is specifically because this is coming out of a really, as this says, high-trust user environment. A lot of times people download things from Steam without any thought. I do it all the time because realistically, we feel that Steam is a safe environment. We, for the most part, believe that Steam checks through these things, understands what's being uploaded to their platform, understands what we're downloading. So we feel safe when we download these things. Unfortunately, there are always going to be people who are looking a way around these systems to get their spyware, to get their malware, to get anything on your computer to steal stuff, because that's just what some humans do. When it comes to hacking and information gathering, it's always a case of being one step behind, as you can't always anticipate what a hacker or someone of that ilk is going to do until after they've done it, in which case then you have to go back and patch the exploit they found. It can be very difficult to stay ahead of these types of things, but it's important to try to. Now, after doing a little bit of research, I have tried to find any kind of method through which Steam actively looks for viruses within games. That does not appear to actually exist. What we do have is the fact that Steam goes through a number of steps and processes that severely dissuade people from trying to upload malware to their platform, and then of course quick action based on consumer complaints. After my direct search didn't work, I did go ahead and query Grok to see what it had to say, and apparently the methods Steam is known for using are: first, to develop a verification, in which before a game can be published on Steam, developers must go through registration with Valve, which includes paying about $100 per title, and provide legitimate business details, which means they basically have to prove that they do business somewhere, which does help cut down on people who are just manufacturing malicious software and trying to upload it anywhere. Secondly, because Steam controls the file pipeline, meaning the developers upload their files to Steam and then you download the files from Steam, it's a lot harder to slip new things in somewhere in the middle. So it is entirely likely that if you are getting a piece of malware or virus from a game on Steam, it is because that is what the developer directly uploaded to Steam. But this is also part of why it's not always the best idea to go out sailing the seas. Sure, if you're someone who chooses to do that, I can understand why. But there is always risk associated with that. As my age will show, I am quite familiar with the LimeWire days of people destroying their computers. But as far as the public goes, they have never confirmed that they have any form of active scanning. They basically just rely on the fact that in order to upload a game to Steam, the process itself will dissuade people. However, that does not mean that nobody ever does, obviously, or we wouldn't be here right now having this conversation. But they do react quickly when consumers report any kind of suspicious activity. This means reports of antivirus software stopping games from installing, while many games can actually throw a false flag. For example, Tailspire on my computer does flag my antivirus software. I know that Tailspire is safe, so I create an exception for it. However, there are times when you need to make sure and double check that that's really not something going on. So just always remember, nothing's 100% safe. Steam is a little bit more like a condom, where it works about 98% of the time. Probably a little more than that, but you get what I'm saying. And of course, they pay attention to anything that goes on afterwards. Steam even has an article on its website in the support section about antivirus software reporting Steam games are malicious, where it basically details that if you are not confident something's a false positive, make sure you report it to Steam and that you remove it from your computer. And also goes through, of course, the details of how to create an exception. They even have a nice little box right here at the top that says virus and malware protection should be taken very seriously. False positive detections are extremely common, but players should take precautions anytime your trusted antivirus provider detects a problem. Most antivirus software provides a game mode or allows players to create exclusions for game files or processes when experiencing confirmed false positives or interference. So false positives are something that happens enough that Steam feels the need to address it. However, in the grand scheme of things, the games that get through that are infected are not all that many. Examples of previous incidents like this is Abstracticism from 2018, which was installing cryptocurrency mining malware and a Trojan virus on people's computers. In 2023, there was a developer account hijacking. Multiple developer accounts were compromised, leading to malware being distributed through game updates. Thankfully, fewer than 100 users were affected, and at least one confirmed game, Nano War Cells vs. Virus. It's unclear how many titles were removed, but this incident did prompt Valve to implement SMS-based two-factor authentication for developers, and probably 2 other games maybe were pulled based on this report. Then, like I said, in the last 2 months, just recently, Pirate Fi was a free-to-play game that was removed after being found to contain data-stealing malware. Valve did warn affected users to run antivirus scans or reformat their systems, which means it was a pretty serious breach. Now, of course, you have this Sniper Phantoms Resolve game, which has obviously managed to infect some people. And of course, there have been other games that have probably removed from this. Steam obviously does not want to make a big deal when this happens because this will hurt the trust with their customers. We, like I said, for the most part, rely on Steam to keep these sorts of things safe, and they do a reasonably good job at it. Keep in mind, there are over 100,000 games on the platform, and over the past 5 years, there might have been 5 to 10 games removed for virus or malware, meaning that less than 0.02% of games have ever, to this point, been found being infected. Now, how many games have been infected? We don't know. Well, we don't know. That's always the scary part. But I do think that if there was a widespread infection, we would know pretty quickly. People are unlikely to keep very quiet about that. I did, of course, go to see if I could find the Phantom Resolve storefront. It's obviously been removed. You click on that. It is gone. However, in Steam communities, it does still exist. The amusing thing here is when you click on the developer statement, it says Dear players, we want to inform you that our game, Sniper Phantom's Resolution, will be available exclusively on Steam. Any other websites, links, or offers claiming to provide our game outside of Steam are fraudulent and may pose a security risk. Ironic. To avoid scams and potential issues, please ensure you download the game only from official Steam page and disregard any other source. We never distribute activation keys or install files through any third-party sites. If you come across suspicious links or offers related to our game, please report them and stay cautious. Thank you for your support and see you in the game. And that was, as I said, March 19th. And then, of course, you have demo as a virus, game is an info stealer, virus don't play, demo has a virus. And you see this, people basically telling others that don't download this game, it's a virus. Which is a good thing when this type of thing happens. Figured since we're talking about this, we'd go ahead and do just a quick rundown of the security tips for every gamer, since it, it never really hurts to go through it, just because I'm sure most of you do these things and understand them, but sometimes it doesn't hurt to be reminded. Stick to official installers only. Use a reputable antivirus. Check community feedback, which, fantastic. There was actually some in there. Enable multi-factor authentication. Watch for red flags. Be wary of games with copied assets, vague developer histories, and anything that prompts external downloads. Definitely, I personally wouldn't deal with a game that prompts external downloads. That's one of the reasons why most PC gamers fight against PSN accounts and so forth. Look at how many times PlayStation has been hacked versus how many times we've had problems with Steam. A lot of people are concerned that this will hurt the reputation of Steam. I'm sure Steam is concerned this will hurt the reputation of Steam, but still at this point, I've had less of my information stolen from Steam than I have from PlayStation. So there's always that. Audit installed software, backup important data, reset compromised accounts, and of course, we can always call for stricter oversight. In the end, these people will always find some way around the oversight. 9 times out of 10, that way around the oversight will be you. You are always the weakest link in terms of defending your computer. Social hacking, social phishing, social manipulation is the #1 tool in a hacker's tool bag. You are your weakest link every time. So make sure you keep that in mind. Keep the hubris out of it. I know nobody likes to be told that they are the problem, but a lot of times we are the problem. And I can promise you this, in most of those cases, it was an individual that was socially engineered, that clicked the wrong thing, that did something wrong, and let those people into the information. That is what the problem generally is. Yeah, a hacker might be able to find a way in through some kind of back security thing, but most of the time, it's a human that's the problem, which is always something to keep in mind. All that said, if you did download the demo for Sniper Phantom's Resolution, check out your computer, uninstall, run an antivirus, make sure everything is locked down, maybe change some passwords, and whatever. Do what you got to do to make sure that you feel safe with your computer again and that everything checks out healthy. All that said, I would love to hear your comments and thoughts on this. Does this make you feel a little more nervous about downloading games from Steam? Is it kind of a nothing thing since it happens so rarely? For me, honestly, it's kind of a nothing. It's going to happen occasionally. I try to keep my information as safe as I can, and that's about all we can do, and hope for Steam to do as well. And at some point, something gets through. It just happens, unfortunately. Not to say I wouldn't like to say Steam engage in some kind of acknowledged active virus identification, but right now, all we know is they've never said they do. We can only assume, and you know what they say about assuming. I could be wrong. I could be right. Who knows? I did want to address one thing from yesterday's video. I guess address isn't the right word to put it. I wanted to tell you guys that, I'd been thinking about some of the stuff I said in yesterday's video, and mainly about the definition of a role-playing game. And I think this Thursday we're going to do things a little differently. We're going to, instead of me just playing a game, I am going to put together a tier list of games from most RPG-like games to least RPG-like games, and then do a tier list of them. Just pull a bunch of games and do a tier list and see where things end up. If you want to participate in that, it's going to be part of another video. It's going to be a little more intensive video for me, so it's going to have to wait for the weekend for me to be able to really work on it, because it's going to take a little bit more information than what I can normally scrape together in this period of time in which I make my videos. But I really kind of want to look deeper into the whole RPG question, if that makes sense. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I very much look forward to reading them. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. If you really liked it, you can feel free to share it around, and I will catch you later.